Hello everybody, this is Joseph Propati, and today I'm going to be going through a playthrough of one of many playthroughs that will cover my game Escape the Alps. So this originated as a small little PNP, which you can find the files on Board Game Geek. This version you can find on the Game Crafter. I did make a little retail version of it. So this is all the components that you'll see on the Game Crafter. But if you don't want to play or pay, then you can find the files on Board Game Geek. Plus, I've also put the files on Tabletop Simulator. So if you don't even want to craft it, you can go ahead and go on there and play the game. Everything's on there, all the components. And that'll give you a chance to give it a try and see if you like it or not. So, but in today's video, Escape the Alps has 4 modes of play. You have first game, right? Then you have beginner, and you have easy, and then hard. And these 4 different levels of play, they introduce new elements to the game as you're playing along. So some of the things maybe just if you're playing in your first game, it just clears out all the hard negative aspects of the game and just teaches you the fundamentals of play. When you get into beginner, it'll add an element of stamina loss, and then when you get into the hard, there's the sniper that comes involved, and then you have snow conditions that come into play. But just to give you an idea, so let me just give you a little synopsis of the game. So, you are a captured World War II 101st Airborne Ranger imprisoned by the German SS in a castle in the Alps. You've been put through hell, and still you've given only your name, rank, and serial number. As they take a break from interrogating you, you manage to break free, open a window, and climb out onto the ledge. You immediately notice 300 feet straight down of a drop to the rocks below. And you can feel the cool, chill air of the Bavarian Alps whip across your face. You make your way to the face of the mountain and look up to a sheer rock face straight up with occasional patches of snow. You have 2 choices: climb to freedom and get recaptured and await certain death by the SS. Your choice is clear: climb the mountain and escape the Alps. So, as you can see from the synopsis, Escape the Alps is a rock climbing game in a sense that this game uses dice and cards. But the dice are used in a little different way. The dice are used to create a route and set up that route to get you through different sections of the rock face. On the rock face, you'll have different things. You'll have safe zones, you'll have hazard areas, and then you'll have these beneficial areas that will help you to avoid some of the hazards. Now, I said it is a card and a dice game. So let me just give you an idea of the cards. So here's your 2 benefits and hazard cards. These come up during play. Benefits are the ones that will help you as you're going along, and hazards will affect you immediately. Then we have our day and night condition cards. These, as you're climbing the mountain, you'll be going through the day, and then you'll reach a point where you're climbing at night, and you'll have these snow conditions and rock conditions that whenever these conditions come up, you'll roll to see what happened on that change. So those are your day and night condition cards. And then you'll see these arrows. These go along with your route. So your tracks, these are what keep track of your movement, your turn tracks. You have, if we go with the first game, and that's going to be the video of this one, you can see that you have this row of dice, and then you have these directions. And the way these work is you have 5 dice total, but you only use 4 per turn unless you roll 4 of a kind. Then you'll get that 6th one to help you with your route. But this route, when you roll a dice, let's say you have your 4 dice and you roll your dice, right? And if you don't roll 4 of a kind, this is what you have to set up to create your route to go up the mountain. And you see that a 4 would produce this angle up to the right or down to the right, and a 5 would be to the right, and a 1 would be to the left. And if you rolled a 3, that would get you straight to the mountain, or if you get stuck, to come back down. And that's where the terrain cards come in. See, because when you have these terrain cards, you're moving from point to point. And now you can see that these directions and the dice that you lay out for your route, let's say it was this. This is what you create for your route, and then you plan your route, and then you go through your route. So if I had a 5, I'd go to the right. If I had a 4, I can't go this way, so you have to do an opposite one. 3 would go up, and then 5 to the right. And based on your roll and how you plan your route out, that gets you up to the mountain. Now these terrain cards, you can see they have these component colored icons. And red is for hazard, blue is for a safe zone, and green are for the benefit. So if you are able to move through these areas, you can get the benefit, or if you happen to have to move through the hazard, you'll have to roll for hazard. And then the safe zone comes up where it keeps you from losing your stamina. And stamina is a big element of this game, because if you start with 6 stamina, but if you run out of stamina, it goes below 1, you get too tired and you slip off the mountain, and that's the end of the game. So I'll talk about how the game plays, and the rules, but right now I'm just going to go through the setup, and we're going to set up just for first game. So the first cards that you need, right, out of all these cards, you'll need to find the base terrain card that has an A on it, and it has an A on both sides, but you'll see that the icons are in different positions. So you can set that one aside, and then you want to find the 3 cards that have just a single blue safe zone icon. So you'll take those. So your first game, you're just going to have these 4 cards, right? So you set those aside. And then you want to get rid of the snow one, because you only want the rock condition card. So it's got a night and day, and it's only showing a rock face. Grab your turn tracker card that shows first game, right? The other side's beginner, so we want to just do very quick learn the game, first game. And then we have our hazard cards and our benefit, our hazard card and our benefit card. So we can just set those right over here, right? And you can take your 5 white dice, just set them below the turn tracker card. The 2 red dice, put those over here, because those are rolled for the benefits and conditions. And then this black token, set it on turn 1, right there. And you'll notice on here, there's only black and yellow. So for these turns, for when the phases change. So you'll have white boxes, and then when you hit a black, that means you're going to night. And then when you go hit a yellow, go back to day, and so on. So they'll have 4 changes in this game. And you just need to get to turn 20. You got to do that before, you want to get to the top of the mountain before turn 20. So otherwise, you'll lose the game. If you run out of turns, you lose the game. So that's your last turn. The black die is going to be your climbing piece. And then you have your other tokens. These are the elements that go on the side here. So let's go ahead and we'll set up your rock face. So again, you can use either side of the A card. Just place that down like this. And on these, you can shuffle them up. They can be flipped 180 degrees, rotated, right. You can flip them over, just kind of mix them up, right? Set them over here, take the top one, and then just flip it. Put it right on top. Then we take another one, flip it, put it right on top. So we have our initial rock face. Okay. Now we got to do a shift. It's called a rock face shift. And what you do is roll a d6. All right. And this will decide on how these shift, because it's not just going to be straight up. You might have it shift over 2, and this one might shift over 2. So you roll your dice. All right. If you roll 2, a 1 would be 2 shifts. So you'll take both these cards and you'll just shift them over 1. If you had rolled a 1, they would shift over 2. Just make sure you line up the crosses all the way up. If you'd rolled 3, 4, nothing would shift. And if you rolled 5 and 6, they would shift to the right. Then we want to shift this one. So we roll again, 4, and that means no shift. So this is going to be our final route to climb. And then in the end, you will take this last card, rotate these down, and it will flip up like this and go on top. And you will need to reach this dashed box. So we have our setup. This is our initial rock face that we're climbing up. Now we want to put on our components. All right, put one on the safe zone and put one on the benefits. And then we're going to set up our climber piece. So you roll this, right? And depending on what you roll, right, 1 will start here. And if you rolled 3, you'd go 1, 2, 3. If you rolled 5, you'd go 1, 2, 3, 5. It would start here. And if you rolled a 6, you could put it anywhere you want. So I rolled a 1, I'm here. And then you want to make sure that you set your stamina to 6. So this is your initial starting space for your rock climber. Again, if you roll a 5, it'd be here. And if you rolled a 6, anywhere you want. So now I would like to get this benefit, but since I'm just playing the first game, it kind of helps. It's something that's good, but really we're just learning how to move, how to set up our routes, and just kind of the rules of the play. So you still want to make sure that you try and avoid these hazard areas if you can, and then make sure that you hit these safe zones, because your stamina, as I said, is critical, because as you're moving up, you can't gain stamina. You can only lose it. So if you can get to a safe zone, your stamina doesn't go down. If you pass this safe zone without going through it, you'll go down a stamina point. And again, if this goes below 1, you fall off the face and the game is over. So you really want to try and get through those. They will have more of an effect later in the harder levels, because they affect how a sniper can take a shot at you. So there's these SS snipers trying to shoot you off the rock face, and you're trying to get cover as you get through those. So here we have our initial setup. All right. Put this over here and make sure it's offside, because remember, we always start with 4 as our route, and this is only gained if you roll 4 of a kind. One of the other things you want to remember is, as you're going past these, right, when you're going to get into the next terrain card, these will all get placed on the next card. So they only last per terrain card. So if you have a benefit or hazard, those hazards or benefits only last till you reach the next card, and then everything gets pulled off. So they stay into effect until that next terrain card. Nothing gets left behind. And then we have, let's see, we got a night, day. I think we're all set up. We can go through and let's just talk about the rules, okay? Okay, so let's talk about how the game's played. Escape the Alps is played in turns, and every turn you are going to roll, create a route, and then move your piece up the rock face. In just this game, the first game, you will only be concerned with trying to get through the benefits, avoiding the hazards, and if you can, go through the safe zones so you don't lose stamina. You will try and get through these 3 cards, and then once you get up into this last card, you're going to shift all these down, flip this one up and over, and then to win the game, you need to get to this white box on the top card. And you need to do that before turn 20. So it's critical to plan your route as well as you can, because the faster you can get up the rock face, the faster you can win. Also, avoiding stamina. Since you start with 6 stamina and you can't gain stamina as you're climbing, you only lose it. Whenever you pass a blue safe zone and you don't go through that safe zone, you will lose a stamina point. Even if you get past 1 shot of this, if you try and go back and go through it, it won't matter. You've already lost that stamina. So you need to hit it and then go through it. You can even get next to it and go through it and go up. You just can't pass it. Once you pass it, you'll lose a stamina point. So you will lose. So there's 1 you'll lose here. That's 2. That's 3. And you get to the next one, it's 4 if you don't hit those. Now you can lose stamina in other parts based on a hazard. So it's very, you got to be careful as you're moving along. And every time, if you pass it, every move, it's another stamina point. So if you pass through this first one and it takes you 2 turns to get to this one, you're going to lose 2 stamina. So you could, if you decide I'm going to take a straight shot, you'll never make it, because you get through this, it's going to take 2. You pass this one, that could take 3. You're down to 1. You miss 1 more, you're off the map. So it's not just 1 here, then you can go all the way here, and lose another one, go all the way here. No, it's however many turns that you pass it, you're going to keep losing stamina until you get to that safe zone, and then it stops, because you're getting a chance to rest. And then we have creating a route. So every turn, we roll our initial 4 dice, as an example. Roll our 4 dice, and there's 4 conditions that can affect this route and what's on the values. 1 is if you roll 4 of a kind, you get to add this 5th dice, and you get to roll it. Where you will take the 5th dice and roll them all again. If you roll 3 of a kind, you can change 2 of the values on 3 of those dice. So if you rolled 3 5s, you can take 2 of those and change them to whatever value you want. If you roll 2 of a kind, you can take 1 of those and change them whatever you want. Now, if you had rolled 6s, let's say you rolled 3 6s, well, instead of changing 2 of them, you can actually change all of them. Because remember, any 6s can change what they are. But you don't get to roll them, see 6s, change them to 6, and then change 2 of them. No. You either got to, it's an and or. So if you have all 6s, you can either use the bonus of changing in 6 to whatever you want, or taking these and changing them if you want. So that's the conditions. 4 conditions for when you make your first initial roll. 4 of a kind, 3 of a kind, 2 of a kind, or 6s. Now, once you roll, you have your values. Let's say we have a 3, and a 1, right? And this is a 5. Okay, and you're like, okay, I have one of these. I'll change it to, I'll do a 4. So now you have your route. These can't change, but now you have to look and see where you're at and go, okay, these are the directions. A 1 goes this way, a 5 goes this way, a 4 goes up to the right, 2 goes up to the left, and then 3 goes straight. The down are if you get stuck behind things and you have to go around. Such as if you're here and you want to go around here, you might want to go down. So, you're trying to get to certain things. So you're going to plan your route. So right in here, you might say, okay, for example, I want to go forward, and then I want to avoid these. So maybe I'll do a 4, so I go here, and then I'll do a 5, so I go here, and then I'll do a 3, so I go here, and then I have a 1, and go here, right? And that, once you've set these down, this is going to be your route. Okay? Once they're down, you set them up, you go, I'm ready to do it, I'm ready to climb. you will start moving. So I would go here on my first one, I'd take it off. Then I'd go 5 to the right, take it off, go 3 here, take it off, and then go 1, right? And take it off. That would be my first turn. All right? So, see, that's critical to try and get forward as fast as you can. Now, on your next turn, you'll move the black cube, roll your dice again. And that's kind of the progression. It's roll, create a route, move, go to the next turn. All right? Now, all the while, you have to focus on your stamina, focus on what hazards you have to get around, and also figuring you might go off the edge. Now, if you're here, for example, and you have a 5, right, and that means go to the right, well, anything that goes off the mountain just means you go to the opposite. So instead of going to the right, you will go to the left. Just like if you had a 4. 4 is up to the right. So instead of going here, you will go here. It's just the opposite. Anything that takes you off the side of the mountain is the opposite going the other way. All right? And you can go down if you want. So if you wanted to, you could go, instead of going 4 this way, you could go that way. Completely up to you. Just remember, you have an up and down option. Now, if you had one that was going to take you off here or go forward, if all you had was a 3 to go forward, instead of having you go down, you could just stay where you're at. Okay? And if you needed to go here and you had a 4, then I would use a 4 here because you can't go that way, so then it would force you to go that way. So you can kind of take dice that looks like it's going to take you out of the way, but it really is an advantage and gets you up to the next card. If you go through a hazard, let's say you move and you happen to go here, you'll take your 2 dice, roll them. Got a 7, put it on here, and then see what the hazard. Oh, lucky, nothing happened. But you will leave that there until you get through the next card, because you could have 2 hazards on here just like you could have 2 of the benefits. But if you had another hazard, if you rolled another 7 again, you just keep rolling until you find an open space. And then put the next one on it, and then that one would take effect. But these are immediate. Hazards happen immediately based on what the condition is. Benefits can last or can have an effect later to help you out as you're climbing up. Again, if you move through here, you just take it off, and that means you won't lose any stamina. So I think that's all you need right now. Just be aware when you move to 5 and it's nighttime, you'd flip it over and immediately roll 2 dice. 5, you come down here and go stuck, lose 1 die. So that means on your next turn, instead of getting 4, you're only going to get to roll 3. So these can have an effect, but these only happen when you flip the card. So on the very first turn, you ignore rock conditions on turn 1. But every time you do a new turn, and these change from day to night, night to day, you'll roll on these rock conditions. Okay, so that's that. And again, you need to get to the top before turn 20. So let's see if we do it. So here we go. First things first. We roll our 4 dice. All right, so I have 6, 2 4s. Now, since I have 2 of a kind, I can change one of these to whatever I want. And the 6, I get to change whatever I want too. So I always want to try and move forward, so I like using a 3 first. That would get me here. I'm not going to make it over here because I don't want to waste a bunch of moves just to get here. So my goal is to try and get up here and get to the blue as fast as possible. So I will change, let's see. We go, I'll change this to a 2 to make it go in the reverse, or no, 3 because I have a 2. So which means I can go here and then 2 here, and then I'll do another 4. So I can go 3, 4, 2, and 4. So actually I think I'll leave that 4 as it is. But now it's critical on how I plan it. So we go 4, 2, and 4. Now I've planned my, I've looked, basically I'm looking up ahead of me and I'm going, okay, I see these handholds, these areas I can put my foot, so I think I got a good route. So then on this turn, which is turn 1, I'll do my forward move. Take that off. Taking it off just helps you know where you're at on your next move. Because you leave them on there, you forget, you go, well, did I just do this one or did I do that one? So just to make it safe, just take it off the turn track. So then we got a 4, and remember 4 goes up to the right, 2 to the left, and 4 to the right. Now again, this is first game, so there's nothing, you're not worried about getting shot at, there's no snow, you know, it's just really just going to cover planning routes, rolling, and getting used to the movement. So that we lucked out, got past our hazards, just keep moving forward. So now we're on turn 2. Roll the dice. This is a good one, 2 6s. So remember, 6s, you get to re-roll. Or not re-roll, but you get to pick whatever number you want. So now, I want to go straight up. I want to do it as fast as I can. But once I hit this card, I got to clear these off and put the components in the next card. So 1 goes to the left, so I could go left and then just do a bunch of 3s. So that's always the best thing to do. So we'll do 1 first, which means left, and then we'll just do our 3s, which are straight up, like that. Then when we plan our route, we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so let's go ahead and change these off. And now we have 2 benefit spots. Now remember, I didn't lose any stamina because I went through this safe zone. Otherwise, I would have been continuously losing stamina points until I got to this guy. So, very critical to get through that spot. Alright, so now we go to the next turn. And we roll our dice. And we have 2 of a kind, so I could change 1 of each of those pairs. Now, I want to get to the benefit, but I really want to get to that. So I know I need to get a route over here. So 5s are to the right, which 5, I could change 1 of these to a 4 to get me here. I could change 1 to a 4, but I don't want to go 3. So let's think this through. If we go 3 first, 3, 5. So 3, 5 gets me here, do a 5, and then do a 4. Yeah, we could take that a little bit longer route, but it gets me in the safe spot. Or I could go 3, 3, and then 5, but then if I don't roll a 5, I might get messed up over here. So I think I will just change 1 of these. So 3, 5, 5, and 4. Change that to a 5. Alright, so we go 3, and we have 5, 5, and 4. Alright, so that's our route. Once it's on there, can't change it. And then we will take the route, so we'll go 3, go 5, 5, and 4. So again, we're going to be safe and not lose stamina. And again, this is very easy because first game, just teaching the rules. So let's go next turn. 4. We'll roll our dice. Okay. So we've got 1 pair, 2 of a kind. So I can change 1 of those if I want. You don't have to. It's just up to you. So 2 is up to the right. That's a good one. And then 3, 3. And then the 5 would be to the right. So 2, 3, 3, 5 to the right. I'd rather do 2, 2, then 3, then up to the right. So I'll change 1 of these to a 2 because I want to hit that benefit. Alright, so 2 first, and 2 second because it's up to the left. 3 goes straight up, and then 5. And we'll take our move. That's 2, 2, 3. So set that there, and 5. Now I got a benefit. So let's roll our 2 dice. Roll the 7, which means easy route. And easy route, I can remember. We have, it can be used to change the direction of one movement dice. So on my next turn, I can, if I want, use that to change one of the dice by the benefit. And that could even possibly change 3 of a kind and change one of them to a number which would give me a 4 of a kind. And then I get another dice. So that's definitely a benefit one. So I'm almost to the next card. And we will go next turn, which means I switch this. I roll my 2 dice. A 2 and a 6. So that's 8. Nothing happened. Good. So it cleared that. And we'll roll our 4 dice. 2, 5. Now 5 that's a tough one. So here we have our 5, the 2, and a 3. So still trying to get there as fast as I can. So we have, let's see, same directions. So I got a 2, so I can go 2 and then 3, and then I'll be setting those up. So 2, 3, and I can change one of these 5s. Change it to a 3. All right. So I think what I'll do is go 2, 3, 3, and 5. Because I can't go through there. So you'll see these spots where there's no cross, the little chasm here, or cliff or overhang. That you have to go around. So I'd either have to go this way or around or go through the hazard. So I got to be careful. So that'll be good. So let's set this up. We'll do 2, 3, 3, and 5. Now I could use my benefit if I want right now and change this 5 and go 2, 3, 3, and then 2. And I think I will. So I'll use that one and change it to a 2. Because now look at me there. And so we will take our first move, 2. And let's shift these up. All right, and then we'll do a 3, 3, and a 2. And you can see I'm just trying to go as fast as I can to get up the mountain. All right, now we will do 6. And we've got 1, 5, 6, 5. So let's see what we got. I want to try and get through there. And so we have 5. Can't go 5. That would push me into a hazard. 1 will push me into a hazard. So there's 6. So I'm going to change one of these. And I'll change one of them to... I'll change one of these 5s to a 4. So now I can go into that one. All right. And the 6... So basically I have a 4, I can do 5, 1, and then we'll change this to a 3. All right, so we got 4, and then 5, go right back with a 1, and then go to a 3. And then we'll take our moves, so we got 4, gets us in the safe zone, no stamina loss. 5, 1 right back, and 3. All right. We're almost getting there, so we got 7. And let's see, we got 1, 4, 3, 4. So we've got another 2. We need to get to this next card, which will be this one. So we've got 1, 3. Oh, forgot one more green. So we could go 1, 3, get to the green, and then go 4, 4. So we'll just use that. So we'll go 1, 3, 4, 4. And we'll actually make this a 3. So we can go straight up. So we have 1, 3. Let's roll our 2 dice. Got a 10. Good hand hold. Fall becomes slides. Slide becomes a slip, and slip is ignored. And those have to do with conditions that will happen that can cause you to fall. So those are something that will be used later. Then we use a 3 and a 4, which goes up here. Let's take this card and flip it. Make sure we do the shift. Put that 4 back up here so I don't lose it. Oh, sorry. One dice. Rolled a 2, so that means it shifts this way. 1. If I'd rolled a 1, it would shift over 2. So we have a 4 and a 3. Let's put our icons on. All right. Next turn, roll 4 dice. A 3, 6, and a 3, or 3, 5, and 3, 5. So I definitely want the 3 and the 3, and I will change one of the 5s to a 2. So we'll do 3, 3, 5, and 2. So here's 3. Stand on loss. 3. Oh, I think I messed that up. Oh, I messed it up. But that's good. So now I can show you what a hazard does. So since I did a 5, I go this way, but I can only go this way. Take our 4. I actually went into a hazard. Roll a 4. That's this. Impossible route. Next up direction die is ignored. So, since I have a 2, and an up direction die means either up to the left, up to the right, or straight up, this one is ignored. So, that shows you the hit of a hazard. Okay? So we have our next turn, we're at 9. Alright, 2 4s, 2 3s. Alright, this is going to get us there. So we got 1, 2, and a 4 will get us there. So we're just going to go straight up. And we go 1, 2, and 4, 3. And there you go. Like I said, very simple. This is, like I said, it's just almost a tutorial game. It's just something to kind of get you give you an idea of how the rules are played. You know, see how routes are created and what you do, and then it gets much harder in the higher level games. And I also have more cards, so there's many more cards that get involved when you're playing easy or beginner, easy, and hard. You have 3 cards, 5 cards, 6 cards that you have to get through. So it becomes very critical that you, when you have 6 cards you got to get through, you miss one of those, you can't miss these safe zones. They really will affect you. You sure can't go straight through because you'll never make it. So this is the first tutorial game for my game Escape the Alps. I hope it kind of covered the basics and gave you an interest to try and play the harder levels, or just an interest in playing the game at all. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments section. If you like what you see, go ahead and click that subscribe button and hit the bell, and you'll see new videos that I'm always creating. But keep watching, because I will be making videos for each one of the levels of play. So I'll be doing one for beginner, one for easy, and then one for the hard. So, hope you enjoyed watching, and until next time.